For our next session, it is kind of walking the energy transformation. So please help me in welcoming Deepak, CEO and founder of SEW, and Praveer, CEO of Tata Power.
Well, I'm very honored, first of all, to have Praveer, CEO of Tata Power, the biggest private power company of India. And I think all of you know India, but just for a good metrics on that, India is now the most, is going to be in next 5 years, most populated, country. 1.4 billion people lives in India. It's the 5th largest economy in the world. And the Prime Minister of India to the Power Ministry of India to Finance Ministry of India made that statement in their own, on the every forum. They want to pretty much modernize the water grid, the power grid, and the gas grid. Because it was, just think about 1.4 billion people to get 24/7 water, power, and gas. With what kind of infrastructure, what kind of efficiency, what kind of technology needed, for them. And they're doing a lot of modernization. They're running big time renewable and all. But Praveer, I will be definitely asking you, the Tata Power is the biggest private company, the power company, and the biggest, private group, they are in every sector for the good reasons. But from the power standpoint, I know that you are the part of that all end-to-end journey of the India transformation to the future. Please share with us, definitely the audience, want to learn, we have a 350 million people in US. We have a 4x people back in India, how you and the government of India is going to this transformation, and what are you doing to connect the grid, the customer, all that together?
First of all, thank you, Deepak and Z Primer for the opportunity to come and speak to you today morning. Tata Power is a power company. It's an integrated power company in India. But more than that, it's a very old company. It's just a very young company, just 107 years young. And we started way back in 1915 when we set up the first hydropower plant in India to bring power into Mumbai. But more than the hydropower plant, I think the transmission system which was set up 107 years back to bring to Mumbai, which is an island city, through the rivers, I think that was the most challenging task. So it has been a very innovative, and it's a company which has been learning and last 100 years has been trying new technologies and new things, and it has always been in the forefront of trying new technologies. And to bring you the perspective of where we stand, it would be important to first of all understand that what are the 3 things which is happening globally. And the 3 big changes that we have seen in last 1 decade or a little more than a decade is that there is, for the first time, the decarbonization is being talked about. And the second is the decentralization, and the third is the digital technology. And let me try to explain to you. Again, power production has been there for last more than 120 years. From the time Mr. Thomas Alva Edison found power, it was all big power plants and big generation, big transmission and distribution. But I think the first big thing that happened is that the new technologies has given us the opportunity to decentralize. There's no necessity that you need to set up huge power plants and transmit it over thousands of miles and then distribute it. You have the opportunity to produce power locally and use it. And for a country like India, and for many of the other developing countries, it's about socialization of power. It's about democratization of power. How do you give the opportunity and empower the people to produce power, use it themselves, and also give it in the grid or sell it in the community? And I think that's the big change that we are seeing in the country. In India, it is offering opportunities for consumers to produce their own power. And this is in urban areas, this is in rural areas. And you can produce your own power, you can use it the way you want. Unlike many parts of the world and in India also, supply of power was monopolistic. It used to be with the distribution companies. They were manipulating, they were controlling, and they were deciding when to give and when not to give. And in the Indian context, when we say you have 24/7 power, it does not mean 24/7 in one day. It means 24 hours in 7 days. So that's the difference. In some parts of Africa, if you go, it will be 7 hours in 24 days. So that's the difference. So here you are getting an opportunity where you can produce your power and decide when you will use it. In rural parts of India, it creates much more than the access of power. It is about access of livelihood and access of economic activity. And we have seen that how access of power in villages, in rural areas, is helping families to use their time in a much more efficient manner. Children can get, they can study in the evening. Shops can work in the evening time, and these can be normal grocery stores, medical stores, anything. Industries can work, so you have these plants which can work over there, flour mills, oil expellers, these can work in the evening time or whenever. So new business opportunities. We used to see earlier farmers were always dependent on getting the supply and using for pumping water for irrigation purpose. Now I find that farmers are selling water because they are getting that power themselves, and within a certain radius they are now selling water, and that's a business opportunity. So I think the democratization of power that has happened is a phenomenal change that has happened. The second is, of course, the decarbonization. We've heard that we are in red zero. This is a time where we need to change, and we are already very vulnerable the way things are going. And what we need to do to decarbonize and move towards the new technology and to make it 24/7 power in terms of renewable. And I think it's not only about power generation and its utilization, but also the decarbonization that is taking place in mobility, where opportunity to go for electric vehicles and use it wherever you want. I think that's the big change. And the third big change that we are seeing is in terms of digital technology, where earlier it was a unidirectional flow of energy that used to take place. Now there is a bidirectional flow of energy and also a bidirectional flow of information technology. And what is great about this is that it helps you to manage on real-time basis. Some of the work that Deepak and his company do is, how do you manage this flow of data? How do you manage the peaking of power, the time of the day power? How do you manage your load? How do you bring in the demand response? How do you control the demand side management? So from a supply related energy supply, we are now on the distribution part of it and the usage part of it, the load part of it. So that's the paradigm shift that has happened. So I think for globally this is happening, for our country this is happening. We are seeing new use cases of how we can use energy on real-time basis, and you don't have to have the duck curve and stuff like that. We can move away from that sort of solution, from that sort of challenge, and have solutions for that. And also we have now solutions where you can manage your load, where the consumer is getting an opportunity to participate in using their load in an efficient manner. Earlier they were, whenever it comes, you start using it. So I think the type of shift which we are seeing globally, we are seeing in the country also. In India, we are not now talking of just peaking power, but we are talking of energy and how to use the energy efficiently. We are also seeing that how some of these technologies can help us to become much more smarter as a grid and smarter as a user of power. And Tata Power has been in the forefront. And I tell people that the first use case of demand response, we did it in 2015-16. In fact, we wrote 5 papers with Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, along with them, on how demand response can help us. Many people thought at that time we'll not be successful, but we did it. And I think more and more of these use cases will help us to become much more smarter as utilities and much more efficient as utilities in using energy in the way that will help us to be more efficient and also to conserve energy. So I think we live in exciting times, and thanks to SEW and Deepak and many of the innovative engineers who are coming up with excellent solutions which will make us really get ready for the next century.
Thank you, Praveer. I just want to add that, I want to underscore certain things. My own personal experience in the team, personal experience working with Praveer and the Tata Power leadership, it's been amazing for 2 reasons. They don't want to talk about being innovative and doing digital transformation. Sitting and I'm not putting India on a spot on this. India is definitely digital transforming in every sector. But Praveer and the team, they ask us, guys, share with us all your global experience, all the solutions you're able to apply. It doesn't matter in North America or any other country. We want to bring it on. We want to take that first step. And as a leader, when you see Praveer and his leadership, it's not about not taking a risk, but taking a calculative risk and telling us, Deepak, bring that platform. And again, for all the good reasons, we want to be the first. We want to really help our customer. We want to help our regulators to ensure that we are providing the most reliable, most affordable power. And it is very important for all of us to understand, a lot of times we take the industry on a point, yeah, you can do the transformation and spend a lot of money. You can spend the money, but then somebody have to pay for that money. In this industry, if we are transforming and we are spending the money, we want to make the power affordable too. So Praveer, I personally experienced that. My team always excited, and I'm going again off track on this, but I have to accept one thing in front of the audience. Our experience getting with the Tata Power as an engagement, with and helping, as I said, that helping Tata Power to go with, we have at least 48 odd, demos and workshops, and on top of that, we had a in-person in Bombay, Delhi, multiple times, in-person 5 days meeting. And outcome was, anytime we go and talk about it, the Tata Power team comes back with one of the new challenge, which maybe they didn't heard from us, and maybe we didn't share. Guys, can you do that? And we said, yes, we did it, or we will do it, don't worry about it. So I can tell that, I'm not putting across, maybe 92% or 94% or 93% mapping was there from the product capability, and 7% was not there. And the result of that, and I don't know if you guys go to the Tata Power website, is you'll see Tata Power not only distributing power, they are running a solar business. They're running biggest solar business, they're running the EV, whole e-mobility, and all these 3 different businesses, we are so proud. We are we are able to work and transform from a customer standpoint and bring it all that together. And that's because of Praveer's leadership and his management say, no, we want to make it everything digital. We don't want to leave any use case, and this is what, when he was flying, and I have to, again, guys, a lot of you maybe don't know, is like, he took 22-hour flight from India, from Bombay. He's one of the most powerful person in the power sector in India. He's flying in. I was, believe it or not, I was speechless, and I know I'm generally not speechless, but and I was speechless, and I don't know how many thanks I have to put for him and coming over. But he said, no, Deepak, I'm committed for this industry, and I know the team is committed and SEW is committed. I want to pretty much learn. I want to, and again, that's the one word I have to say that Praveer said to me, Deepak, I want to learn what other people are doing. I want to hear that out, and I want to get back, and I want to share my thoughts. I want to get back and apply that. I think this is what was called the global intelligence. This is called global knowledge. This is called all of us as a team, doesn't matter, we are tech guy, we are energy guy, we are working with regulators and all. We have to come together. So I'm going to put this last question. I know that Jason is going to show me, Deepak, stop. But Praveer, you're so much into the technology. Anytime I talk to you, you definitely have something new idea to talk to me. It's Deepak, let's get focused. We'll get this all thing done. But I have a 2, 3, 4 more idea. How you see the technology, which is transforming and playing a big role, all over, India is on a big digital transformation, as a country. Then the power sector is a big transformation. What are your thoughts are, what the technology will play in the future as we talk in the technology context here?
Yeah, before that, Deepak mentioned all the points. So we are a very tough taskmaster. So that's what he wanted to say, that we demand a lot from him. And but then the nature of the business that we do in India is very different. And I remember a few years back, we were discussing with the SAP team on the SAP ISU, the CRM solution. And customization in India for everything you have to. And we were discussing, and he said, how much of customization? And we said, we'll have to do some 350 cases. And that person fell off the chair. He said, I don't understand. So that's the nature of a business that is there. But yes, talking about the technology, I think there's a whole lot of technology changes which is happening. And I think it's very important that we look at technology as an enabler. And when we look at technology, and we heard in the morning Sally and others talking about that, how important it is that you come up with smart solutions. We need to ensure that our smart solutions are reliable solutions, and especially when I look at renewable, how do we make it reliable? It is intermittent power. It's not 24/7. How do we bring, she talked about the batteries. Today our batteries are not the best of the batteries that we have. Yeah. How do we get other chemistries? Do we get sodium technologies? We get flow batteries, we get other metals, we get liquid batteries. So what are the transformational technology changes that needs to happen? What do we talked about hydrogen? Everyone knows that the process presently to make hydrogen, to break water, the green hydrogen is not an energy efficient process. How do we make it energy efficient so that it becomes cost efficient and effective for utilization in different applications? So we need to have reliability of power. We need to have resilience of power. Everyone talks of that we need to have a backup. There has to be N-1 supply of power. And we do not have resilience if we go just for renewable. If there's no sun, there's no wind, there's none of the other technologies. So how do we bring new technologies? And someone will off the cuff give a remark that we'll do nuclear power. People have to realize that how many nuclear powers have been set up in last 20 years or 30 years. Yeah. The last nuclear power plant set up in US was in 1996. So we are 26 years and we talk of nuclear power. So I think pontificating is very easy, but coming up with right technology, are we talking of small modular nuclear power, fission technology, fusion technology? So I think there is a whole lot of technology that has to happen. We need to talk about security of supply. We all say that this is what it is, we'll get lithium ion. You get 92% of lithium from one country. Can you survive on that? Is it a reality? 90% of rare metal comes from one country. We are living in a fool's paradise if we believe that we will get lithium ion as a panacea for all solutions. So I think the technology change that has to happen at a much faster pace. Many of the things which should have happened in last 1 decade has not happened. We pushed the issues under the carpet. There is a necessity that we take it in the forefront. The recent Inflation Reduction Act, which has come, talks about putting some $700 billion. You need to put that money and come up with technology solutions. So I think if we have sincere desire to make a change, otherwise we can have the COP27 and COP28 and 29. We can all talk about it, but I think there is a necessity of technology action taking place on ground, and that is not happening to the extent that is required. So unless we really call a spade and make the technology changes, we would be falling between the two stools. A lot of things needs to be done. So while smart grid and smart solutions are there, to support that transition, I think there is a lot of work that needs to be done in technology, and disruptive technologies will have to come. And it was good that you got Sally to come and talk about the innovation and technology changes. We need to have many more futurists amongst all of us, so that we come up with solutions which will give us the energy access and good energy access right across everywhere in the world.
Thank you, Praveer. I think that's really, and I just want to, this is what we want to keep underscoring. We don't want to talk COP 26, 27, 28. We need to act. And the power of act is the billions of people to provide them the right intelligence in their hands. And I think there's nothing better than that. The millions of people you touch and millions of people you provide the most reliable power in India. And I think we are very proud as an industry, as a STW, to work with you to transform that. And I'm looking forward for that. Thank you, Praveer. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.